All right, the audio should be better now. Should be able to hear all the incredible sounds of the airport. Thank you all for tuning in again. This is XLRS Aviation live from the Southwest Hill here at O'Hare International Airport. Got lots of exciting action for all of you this evening. One of our first heavies to start with, we have Cargolux Flight 5485. That aircraft, a Boeing 747, just 8 minutes out. Currently east flow here at O'Hare. Got an arriving CRJ that we will capture for you. A little bit of aerodynamic braking there. Do our best to get you the best stabilized action that we can here from O'Hare this evening. Currently on the southwest hill. Current METAR conditions here at O'Hare. Temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 29 degrees Celsius with a dew point of 18. That is 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Current winds 070 at 8 knots. See a United retro livery there with the privileged style Boeing 777. ERB saying, nice shot. What's your name, friend, if you don't mind telling it? Yes, I am writer of XLRS here. This channel is run by myself and Xavier. It is solo me tonight, working the stream here at O'Hare. But the show must go on, and we have lots of incredible action for each and every one of you tuning in this evening. Again, current temperature about 84 degrees here on the hill at O'Hare. Not the coolest, not the warmest. Definitely one of the lesser humidity days that we've had recently, which is good. Our next arrival here, SkyWest Flight 5706, operated by SkyWest Airlines and United Express, an Embraer 175 long range from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This aircraft, registered number 612, uniform X-ray, 4 years of age, arriving in. Got a departing business jet on 10 left. ERB, one more time, this is Ryder here from XLRS Aviation. This channel run by myself and Xavier, and I am solo on the hill tonight, but we have lots of incredible action for you guys. Very interesting. Just to our north, currently descending 18,000 feet right now. Ascending or descending? Looks like it's climbing, coming from up in Milwaukee. Unsure what that aircraft is, but currently passing over the airport, about to turn on a right downwind for hopefully 10 center. We have United Airlines Flight 770, a Boeing 787-8 arriving in from Barcelona. Our next couple arrivals are a couple CRJ 200s. And we have the Privilege style Boeing 777-200 now departing from runway 9 right, headed to Dublin, Ireland. Is going past our towers. Currently O'Hare with some parallel arrivals on runways 10 center, 10 right, which I believe 10 right is closed now, 10 center, 9 center, and 9 left, with departures on 10 left and 9 right. As that CRJ passes by, ERB asking if the A380 comes to O'Hare. Not currently. It did come to O'Hare during some brief times between 2018 and 2020. Then after the pandemic, it came back in 2022, and unfortunately does not come now due to lack of need for it, because there just aren't enough people to fill an A380 flying into O'Hare right now, at least from London. Yet an arriving Cargolux 747 on 9 center. We're now just 2 minutes away from the official start of happy hour, and we'll start with a top of the hour here at 5 o'clock in just a few minutes. That aircraft slows down, you can see the heat haze here. Current temperature 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. Not a ton of action currently at O'Hare, but we have several aircraft. Our next heavy on this runway will be United Airlines Flight 770 arriving in from Barcelona, Spain. A Boeing 787-8 registered November 26906. That aircraft 24 miles to our west will be arriving in 4 minutes. And another heavy, now just 11 minutes out, we have Atlas Air Flight 8468, a 747-400 arriving in from Anchorage. That flight 47 miles to our north and west will be arriving in 11 minutes. Next we have an Airbus A319 operated by United Airlines arriving from Indianapolis. As that aircraft arrives in, we'll now do our top of the hour, celebrating the first hour hit with the 5 o'clock hour here on XLRS Aviation. So at now the top of the hour of 5 o'clock, we welcome you all to XLRS Aviation live here at O'Hare International Airport from the Southwest Hill. Lots of action expected here. We have ERB with a heavy alert for sure. Is there a LATAM parked near the Emirates? Right now, we do not have LATAM here at O'Hare. You might be seeing an Air France tail. That is possible. But we thank you all for joining us here on XLRS Live, and back to the action. Yes, indeed, ERB, that is Air France. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. That is over at our international terminal, Terminal 5 here at O'Hare. A look at our international terminal. You can see we have Air France, and we have a United all the way to your left, then Air France, another United, British Airways, American Airlines, Swiss, Emirates, Royal Jordanian, I believe the California 1 livery of a Southwest 737, and then Aeromexico. Southwest exclusively uses Terminal 5 at O'Hare currently, so they are not necessarily operating transcontinental or international flights. But yeah, currently any international arrivals must arrive into Terminal 5 due to the fact that it is the only terminal to have customs. But customs will be coming to Terminals 1 and 2 very soon, part of the ORD 21 program. Next in line to land, number 1 to its runway 10 center, we have United Airlines Flight 770, a Boeing 787-8. As that aircraft slows down, we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, doing our best here with the stabilization. ARB saying, beautiful Dreamliner, and JD Harvin saying, enjoying your stream, good job from California. Well, thank you very much for tuning in from California. Currently just under 40 people tuned into XLRS, and we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. We are nowhere near done. Our stream will be going for several hours. As you can see, that 787 turning off of runway 10 center. Yeah, we will be streaming for several hours this evening into the nighttime. So be sure to get some popcorn, get a drink, get a snack, and hang out and enjoy the aviation here. Next arrival here on runway 10 center, and Envoy Air flight 4152 and Embraer 175 long range, arriving in from Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Flight time of 1 hour and 45 minutes for this aircraft. Registered November 206 November, 9 years of age, arriving in from Raleigh, Durham now. That aircraft applies its reversers, it's going to have to get off the runway pretty quick, because just 3 miles out now we have another Embraer 175 arriving on 10 center. This one, Envoy Air flight 4134, arriving in from Knoxville, Tennessee. Very nicely set down on 10 center for that aircraft. As you could hear, you had to add a little bit of power as thrust reversers are engaged. Had to add a little bit of power around the threshold of runway 10 center, but got in and stopped all right. And the arrivals do not stop. Our next aircraft, Piedmont Airlines flight 5737, arriving from Richmond, Virginia. This aircraft, an Embraer 145 long range. There aren't many of these left, so we will capture it for you. To a shot of the tower. We have an American Airlines Airbus A321neo lined up, ready to depart. Runway 10 left. And some good news for everyone watching. We have our first 747, this one, Atlas Air Flight 8468, arriving in very soon from Anchorage, Alaska. This aircraft currently 1,500 feet barometric altitude, so just 500 feet above our the altitude of the airport here, which is approximately 600 feet. This aircraft registered November 416 Mike Charlie, arriving in from Anchorage, 22 years of age, a Boeing 747-400. Listen to these Rolls-Royce CF6 engines as it screams its way onto runway 10 center. Folks, if you couldn't feel the sound through your screens, it could definitely be felt here on the hill. That aircraft came in a little bit faster than we're used to. There's just a slight crosswind, but as you can see, he used basically all available runway. 10,800 feet is the usable length for runway 10 center, and it seems as if he used just about all of that. He is now taking a right going into the south cargo area, arriving in from Anchorage. That 22-year-old 747. Hope you guys enjoyed those incredible engine sounds. Look at a couple comments. We have a super chat coming in from Baltic Boy Wandering. Thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you so much for your support to the channel. We immensely appreciate it. Baha Kadem, I may have pronounced that incorrectly, my apologies, saying video quality is good, exposure, color are perfect. Well, thank you very much for the comment. We appreciate the feedback. Doing our best here at XLRS Aviation as we'll come over to the tower for a moment. The Cathay Pacific Airbus A350 just departing runway 10 right. And we have a $4.99 super chat from Judy Shu. $4.99 super chat coming from Judy Shu. Thank you so much for your super chat, saying I love XLRS Aviation. Happy hour at ORD. Keep it up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. Any dollar, any view is extremely appreciated. And thank you to each and every one of you who have tuned in here to XLRS Aviation. ERB saying, till next time, it was a pleasure being here. Nice channel. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Just coming in for a few minutes, liking the video, subscribing if you were new, possibly sending in a super chat. We really appreciate any support possible. Our next arrival, a 737-700 coming in from LaGuardia, United Airlines flight 1612. There's a bit of choppy video, doing a little bit of troubleshooting for that. One moment. Looking in at our next arrival, this one coming in from Seattle, Delta Airlines flight 1578, a 737-800. As that aircraft slows down, we'll go to a taxiing Spirit Airbus A320neo that arrived just a few moments ago. Again, thank you to everyone so far who has tuned in. We have just over 50 people, and a comment from just a few moments ago. Baltic Boy Wandering asking, what's the weather like in Chicago? Currently weather 85 degrees. I'll elaborate after this arrival here on 10 Center. Current weather 85 degrees Fahrenheit here at O'Hare, 84 degrees. And it's 29 degrees Celsius with a dew point of 18, or 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Current altimeter at O'Hare 3009, so slightly higher barometric pressure than the normal conditions of 299 or 2. Current winds are 060 at 8 knots. And departure and arrival delays currently not too bad at O'Hare here. Got some departure delays, an average of about 25 minutes, but arrival delays are just only 4 minutes. So aircraft are getting to and from where they need to go fairly well right now. Got our next arrival is 737 on 10 center. As that aircraft slows down on runway 10 center, we'll pan the cam over to a British Airways Boeing 777-200. This aircraft departing to London Heathrow. This flight, British Airways 294, headed to London. This aircraft, a 26-year-old Boeing 777. A departure followed by an American 787. That American 787 headed over to London Heathrow. As we'll pan over to an Atlas Air 747 taxiing to the south currently. This aircraft headed off to Seoul, South Korea, so should be departing full length here on runway 10 left. Yeah, some information about this flight. Flight 8103 to Seoul, South Korea. An 8-year-old 747-8 registered 859 Golf Tango. Estimated flight time 13.5 hours for this 747. Outfitted with 4 GE NX engines capable of over 100,000 pounds of thrust, we should be able to feel this 747 as it departs over to Seoul. You can see this one with the Atlas Air 30 years, celebrating 30 years decal. Like this Atlas Air not quite full enough or did not receive the clearance needed to depart full length on runway 10 left, but we still should have a good view of the departure in front of the tower. Again, that aircraft headed off to Seoul, South Korea, and our next heavy that will be arriving 3 minutes out, currently to our west, 20 miles to our west. This aircraft, UPS Flight 5494 767-300, arriving in from arriving in from Louisville, Kentucky. Looks like that Atlas Air turning to depart now. They take a rolling start on this takeoff, Atlas. Or they'll do a short field style and spool up while stopped. We'll see. Looks like they're gonna roll. Listen to these GE NX engines. Trying to find that Atlas Air. Taking a turn, there we go, taking a turn quite early for Seoul, still very much visible to us. Go to a departing Iberia 330. See that Iberia climbing up into the sky now off of runway 10 left, excuse me. Just over 50 people tuning in now. Our next arrival here we have UPS flight 5494-767 that is essentially racing American Airlines flight 43, a 787 arriving in from Venice, Italy. We'll go to the UPS though. Tough to catch them all at once. Come over to a former FedEx Boeing 727 that's been parked here for a while. This aircraft is mostly used for fire department training here at the airport. And our next heavy arrival, though it is unfortunately not on runway 10 center, will be Coletta Air Flight 867 of 747-400 coming in from Anchorage. That aircraft will be landing on runway 9 center. And another heavy aircraft to look forward to just 20 minutes out, we have SAS Flight 943 and Airbus A330-300 arriving in from Copenhagen, Denmark. Also to our south and east currently. Hopefully coming in to arrive on runway 10 center, we have Cargolux Flight 6426 of 747-400 from Indianapolis. And also 26 minutes out, we have Iceland Air Flight 853 of Boeing 767-300. Just over 50 of you tuned in. We have a lot of action coming around here. Just to our south and east, we have runway 10 right, getting some arrivals. You can see a Spirit Airlines. Just arriving there. We'll also get you a view of downtown Chicago. You can see that Spirit slowing down with the Willis former Sears Tower on the right and a FedEx tail all the way to the left. Not an incredible amount of action during this moment. Here we have no arrivals on runway 10 center, but we have a possibility of United Airlines flight 415 arriving in from Milan, a 787-8, currently to our north and west. Unfortunately, the recent trend at O'Hare has been arrivals for most of the day on runway 9 center as opposed to 10 center. I'm not sure exactly why, possibly for taxi reasons, so that aircraft are taxiing for fewer minutes than if they were to land on 10 center or 10 right. We're going to come over to a Coletta Air 747 landing on 9 center now, speaking of. A fair number of aircraft currently waiting for gates after arriving before their gates had opened. We'll now go to a departing 787 heavy aircraft. This aircraft, American Airlines Flight 2499, headed to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Registered November 829, Alpha November is a 6-year-old 787 headed to Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's listen to these GENX engines as it departs runway 10 left. that aircraft departs. We have a couple other departing aircraft here on 10 left. Doing our best trying to keep it as stabilized as possible for each and every one of you watching. And currently to our south, we have Cargo Lux Flight 6426, a 747-400 arriving from Indianapolis. Just 6 minutes out, currently on right downwind. Hopefully it will get clearance to land here on runway 10 center. Currently no aircraft landing on 10 center, some landing on 10 right, 9 center and 9 left, completely avoiding 10 center. To 787. But there's one thing for sure: if there's not a lot of action where you're standing or where you're looking at O'Hare, just look across the airport and you will be for sure to see something heavy, something big. See ahead of you there lots of concrete that is part of the ORD-21 program, rebuilding parts of the entire airport from terminals 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, the California 1 livery, or I believe that is Lone Star 1. That will be taxiing to take off to the north. Indeed, that is Lone Star 1. That'll be a 737-800 headed to Denver. That'll be departing runway 9 right. And you can see those construction materials there will be used to rebuild many parts of the airport so that O'Hare is able to process several hundreds of thousands more passengers than it can right now. So that project is expected to be done around 2028. So lots of construction going on around O'Hare currently. A couple aircraft to look forward to, some heavies. We have LOT Polish Airlines Flight 10, that aircraft getting ready to depart runway 9 right. Behind that, we have Air France Flight 137. That'll be headed off to Paris. Come over and take a look at those aircraft. Here's the Air France 787 with an E175 being tugged in front of it. You also see a Lone Star 1 in the background. We also have pushback from the gate ANA Flight 111, a 777-300ER headed to Tokyo Haneda Airport. And we have Lufthansa Flight 431, a 747-8 headed off to Frankfurt. So those are a couple big aircraft to look forward to. You can truly see how big O'Hare has gotten. This airport opened in 1944, so around, or exactly 80 years ago. And now it has 4 terminals, 1, 2, 3, and 5. Receives over 7,000 arrivals and departures every week. So lots of action at O'Hare. It's a hub for mainly United Airlines, but also American Airlines. There's lots of cargo operations that go on here at O'Hare. Speaking of which, number 3 to land on runway 9 center. We will do our best to capture it for you. FedEx Flight 383 and MD-11 arriving in from Memphis. That aircraft just 5 minutes out. Then we also have Cargo Lux Flight 6426, a 747-400, currently on right base for a runway that air traffic control will choose. Looks like it's going to go up toward 9 center. But we have just 9 minutes out now. Iceland Air Flight 853, a 767-300. Iceland Air, I can't remember the last time they had the 767-300, so that should be a treat to see. That aircraft arriving in 9 minutes from Reykjavik, Iceland. Flight time of just under 6 hours. You can hear in the background there a CRJ-200 operated by Air Wisconsin. That aircraft departing to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Winds picking up just slightly. The most recent METAR saying winds were 060 or 60 degrees coming from the north and east at 8 knots, with gusts in the range of 10 to 15 knots. So not bad on gusts currently. The current METAR at O'Hare also stating that there were few clouds at 4,500 feet. Those few have now turned to none. I see 0 clouds, except a few to our south and west. We're going to zoom in now to a 757-300, United Airlines Flight 1828, arriving in from Orlando, Florida. This aircraft now arriving on runway 9 center. Aircraft that'll be arriving on 9 center will be a FedEx McDonnell Douglas MD-11. And that aircraft we've seen fly in and out of here quite a bit until late 2021. FedEx flew their DC-10, but unfortunately those have been retired. But the good news is that the FedEx parking area is to the south here, so that aircraft should land 9 center and then taxi around, and we should get a great, possibly straight-on view of those 3 CF6 engines outfitted on the MD-11. So let's zoom in and do our best to capture this MD-11 landing on runway 9 center. Doing our best with the stabilization, trying to keep it as stabilized as possible for each and every one of you tuning in. So you can see a United Airlines 787 there. Currently just under 50 of you tuned in. If you'd love to, please let us know where you might be watching from. If you have anyone who might not have much going on this Friday evening, please feel free to share this video with them. We'd love to see how many people we can get on the live stream. Also, what is your favorite snack to bring on an airplane? Are you a person that likes pretzels, peanuts, or is there a certain particular snack that you just can't fly without? Also now, it seems as if all the arrivals on 10 right are taxiing their way back past runway 10 center here. I believe taxiing Quebec, we have an American Airlines flight, Flight 975, arriving in from Montego Bay, a 737. Aircraft now taxiing across runway 10 left. And far in the background to the north, they have the FedEx MD-11 that landed on runway 9 center. I always question the idea behind clearing an aircraft to land at a runway so far from its parking area. I mean, FedEx's parking area is here to the south, but it was clear to land on runway 9 center, which is one of the runways in use. Which, speaking of, we have a Cargolux 747 arriving on 9 center currently. Cool shot with the Cargolux and FedEx MD-11 in the same frame. Get a nice close-up shot of that MD-11 taxiing past the southwest hill and XLRSAVIAtion here, so that should be enjoyable. Our next arrival, that'll be on 9 center to our north. We have SAS flight 943 and Airbus A330-300. We also have FedEx flight 5604, which is a 767-300 arriving in from Louisville. And to our north right now, we have Turkish Airlines Flight 5, a 777-300ER. Got a couple other aircraft taxiing behind the FedEx parking area. One of their normal taxiways must have been closed. This first aircraft you'll see is SkyWest Flight 4670 and Embraer 175. As that aircraft taxis across runway 10 center and 10 left, we can see the FedEx MD-11 to our north. Nice and loud, 31 years of age for that MD-11, and we have another taxiing aircraft over to our right, a 737 too. We can see a couple other spotters here at O'Hare also enjoying the action on this Friday night happy hour. have one more aircraft taxiing to our right here. Another United Airlines 737. MD-11. Ton of action now. We got a bunch of taxiing airplanes along with a racing Embraer 170.